And so our first presenter or our guest tonight will be Sister Rosalia Meza, Senior Director of the Office of Religious Education for the Archdiocese of Los Angeles. Welcome, Sister Rosalia.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
We are really excited that you are taking time to join us on Catechist Stream tonight and share with our viewers about your Congress, as you call it, the RE Congress. For those who may not be aware, what can you tell us about the RE Congress, just to get our appetites wet?
Well, the Los Angeles Religious Education Congress uh, is quite a large congress in its kind. I think everyone thinks that it's just for people that are doing catechetical work, And yes, for sure, we have a lot of emphasis on catechetical work, but everyone else is welcome. Teachers, parents, all ministers, everyone is welcome. And it's a 4-day event. We start
Okay.
with Youth Day, which is beautiful. So we have a group of teenagers planning, designing the event for youth, high school students. So that starts on Thursday. This year, the event is on March 17th to the 20th. And
Okay.
then we have the adult days. And it's a beautiful experience, not just receiving content, but as well living out our faith as a community. So that's beautiful.
Well, we have some images that you were kind enough to share. So I'm going to see if I can get those scrolling as we talk more about the RE Congress. So let's see if we can get these going just to give our viewers a picture of what this is like. This is the largest gathering, I believe, in the country. Is that right?
Correct. Correct.
So I know that things may have changed since the pandemic, but approximately how many attendees do you have on average?
Usually we have 30,000 participants. This year, I mean, last year we did it virtually. I mean, this year is going to be a hybrid event. We have the in person event and the virtual event. The in person event is going to be limited in capacity. So
Okay.
it's less than half that we usually have. So that's the new logistic for this year. We know that, I mean, it's an international event and people from overseas, no everyone can travel at this time, as you know. So
Right.
there are restrictions. So due to that, and as well, we didn't know what was going to happen with pandemic. So we are doing a hybrid event so that
Okay.
everyone can participate.
Okay. Now, last year, was it a hybrid event or what was that like
Just
last year?
just a virtual event. It was.
So it went completely virtual last year. And
Mhm,
this year
mhm.
you're moving back to in person and virtual. And I
Correct.
guess only God knows what the future will hold for the Congress.
Correct.
So
Correct.
what would the difference between the in person or virtual experience be like?
Well, we are really trying to do our best so that both can have the same experience. So the difference is that at the virtual event, you're going to be finding all the international speakers. When we started planning the event, that is a year, almost a year, we couldn't bring speakers, participants from overseas. That was a restriction from the convention center. And we said, well, what can we do about it? So all the international speakers are going to be sharing at the virtual event. So that's one of
Okay.
the main logistics. But the opening ceremony, the liturgies, concerts, everything else, the sacred space is going to be available in both.
Oh,
So
that's fantastic.
we are really trying our best that both parties have the same experience.
Okay. And I think another advantage, though, of the virtual is that you can attend that from the convenience of your living room, 24 hours a day. Now, how long will the virtual, if you register for the virtual conference, how long will they have access? Is it strictly live or is it pre-recorded where they can go back and review?
It's both. Yeah, it's both. And so whatever is going to be live happening at the arena is going to be transmitted at the virtual event. And the big convenience of the virtual event is that it's going to be available for a couple of months. So
Okay.
from March 17th till May 17th. So you can go back and check the workshops and go over all of them. So we're going to have 35 workshops on the virtual event, 99 workshops in the in-person event in the three languages. I mean, it's English and Spanish and Vietnamese.
How exciting is that? And I think that's a real benefit. We may see conferences continue to include a virtual component because they can actually reach more people, even though you have, what did you say, 30,000 attendees in person. Um, how many more can you reach by offering some aspect of the Congress virtually? So I think that's very exciting. Now, what about any sessions or speakers that you would like to highlight?
Well, we have wonderful keynote speakers for the in-person and for the virtual event.
Okay.
We have Father Albert His. We have in English. So we have Bishop Seitz and Sister Norma Pimentel for the Spanish keynote speakers. And then for the virtual event, we have Emil's Kuda and David Wells. So it's just wonderful. And we have all the famous speakers, no, that all of you are waiting to hear. Bishop Barron, for example,
Right.
Gregory Royal. So we have wonderful speakers, wonderful speakers. It was very challenging to choose just few this year.
Now, I heard through the grapevine that there's going to be a very special message from someone's that we all know who he is.
Yeah, so that's one of the highlights of this year. We have all the way from Rome, Pope Francis. So he's going to be giving us his blessing and addressing us some words for all participants. So that's super exciting.
That is super exciting. You guys don't sleep, do you?
No, we don't. At this time, no.
At this time, no. Well, we're going to take questions in just a moment. So if you have a question for Sister Rosalia, please do put it in the message box, the chat box, and we'll be turning to those questions in just a moment. But I was also noticing that you have some special events and spaces at the in-person Congress. So
Mhm, mhm,
tell us
mhm.
about those, please.
Well, as always, we have wonderful concerts and we have sacred space. It's beautiful and very inspiring, and we are honoring all the essential workers. So it's going to be very inspiring, and of course, the liturgies, we will be honoring all the essential workers. And I don't know if you know that the Filipino community is celebrating the 500 years of evangelization.
No, I did
So
not.
they're gonna be celebrating. They're gonna have a big liturgy at Congress celebrating the 500 years, and so of course we have the exhibit hall, all those exciting things, no, that people are expecting to have during Congress. And I
Very
need to say that
okay.
they need to watch out about the schedule, because we changed the schedule a little bit,
Okay.
so the sessions are shorter. And as you know, I mean, now that we have been dealing through all these means, Zoom, and people get tired of receiving content, so we are trying to make it sweet, to the point, and that people are able to process, assimilate the content, and to have a space to pray to pray.
Right.
So, and create community as well. So,
That's wonderful, and I think that makes a lot of sense, to provide those opportunities, those spaces, as you put it, so that people can process, they can pray. They uh, typically conferences are so jam packed, which is wonderful with presenters and sessions. There's not a lot of downtime, and this gives the attendee the opportunity to really take that time and make the experience more meaningful. And like you said, build community, meet other people and talk and share ideas. So I think that's really, really exciting. Now, we did scroll after the pictures some of the website. So if someone wanted to learn more about the RE Congress for this year, how would they do that?
they just need to go to recongress.org and
Okay.
you can register for the in-person event or virtually, and or both. I mean, it's in-person, virtual, or both events.
Well, actually, that's what one of the questions were. So I'm going to show that if you register for in person, do you automatically have access to the virtual recordings afterwards, the replays afterwards? Or is that two separate
No,
registrations?
they're two separate because the content
Okay.
is very different. The logistics
Okay.
are very, I mean, they are different. So they are two different
Okay.
events.
So if someone wanted the virtual access, they need to register for that separately. But I did notice the registration fees are very nominal. So really, when you think about um, uh, possibly driving or getting a flight, paying for a flight and hotel rooms and meals, um, the cost is so low if you can order just go ahead and register virtually. So if cost was
Mhm.
prohibitive to you in the past, I think that you'll find the registration fee for virtual is very, very minor, and it's not a lot to add on if you are there in person and would like to have access to all of the great resources afterwards. So that will give you something to think about. But we did put the web address up there. Let's show that one more time, just in case someone is seeing this and would like to learn more about the RE Congress. That's religious education. How did the Congress get its name? Do you know that?
Well, what I can tell you is that because I mean, it was imagined in 1956. No, the whole
Wow.
intention was to promote religious education teachers, catechists.
Right.
So that's why that initial name, which now we keep it. No, we have been changing LA, Los Angeles Religious Education Congress, and
Right.
but that was the initial reason.
Okay. Well, I think that is really helpful. Any additional information that you would like to share with the viewers here live, or that might be watching the replay on recording on video?
Mhm. No, just I mean, if you have the opportunity and eh, please attend. I mean, in person or virtually. The theme for this year is living waters of hope. And
Mhm.
more than ever, I think that we need hope for, I mean, of course, our world. We know what's happening right now, but as well for, I mean, we know how many challenges we have been facing, Catholic schools, religious education programs. So we need to quench the thirst of our hearts with the living waters of hope. So hopefully I can see you in person.
Amen. And I know Deacon Matt will be present in person
Mm-hmm.
for the Congress. I unfortunately will not be present this year, but I do have a virtual session that I worked on and submitted for you all. So if you do get virtual access, be sure to look for that. It's technology and catechesis, strategies for a post-pandemic world. So take a look for that if you do get virtual access. And I just want to take the opportunity to thank you again, Sister Rosalia, for being with us tonight and sharing information on this wonderful event. It's the largest in the nation, and I think you gave our viewers a lot of reasons to check it out if they weren't aware or maybe had already said, I think I'm going to pass this year. So we are helping, hopefully, to support you and the Congress and all of the great work that you do. So thank you so very
Thank
much.
you. No, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And